Okay, Craig here again from ForbiddenKnowledge.info with some information about choices in gold and silver. Let's say you've decided, regardless what I said in other videos where I believe they're going to make gold and silver illegal when something happens to the dollar, let's say you decided to buy some anyway, and I actually do recommend probably at least 10 to 15% in gold and silver, real gold and silver, not paper, not stocks, okay, the actual physical gold and silver. And any financial advisor might tell you the same thing, to have a certain amount in gold and silver. So let's say you've decided to buy some gold and silver coins. We're going to talk about gold and silver in three different formats. One would be circulated, or sometimes called junk silver. Then there's bullion silver or gold, and then there's numismatic silver or gold. Now let's start with numismatic. Numismatic is going to be a value over spot price. Now if you don't know what spot price is, basically that means the marketplace trading worldwide in gold and silver will have a value represented in troy ounces usually of what the daily price is, and it fluctuates all day every day. And as we speak here, for instance, gold might be $1,200 an ounce, okay, where I'm speaking right now, roughly $1,200 an ounce for an ounce of gold. That's the spot value. Now if you have a gold coin, let's say a double eagle, it's going to cost more than that. Depending on the quality of that double eagle or the year, how rare it is, will determine its numismatic value. In other words, that coin might be worth $2,000 or even $10,000 or millions if it happens to be a 1933 double eagle, you see. So a certain percentage of value over spot price could be exempted in the coming bans of gold and silver coins. What those numbers are, I don't know, we don't know, but it was done in 1933, where certain collector coins were exempt from the confiscations. So if you want to carry some of the gold and silver in numismatic coins, now usually those will be graded and slabbed. What is graded and slabbed? Graded means a professional numismatic agency that grades, the professional graders, they look at it with a microscope and they're looking at for everything little nick, and they're looking to see what to grade it at, and they're going to put it in a slab. I don't have any here to show you. They're little plastic cases, and they're permanently sealed, and they're certified by the company who grades them. So a certain value, MS 66, 67, 68, the higher numismatic values of the gradings will probably be exempt from confiscations. Now when the price of gold goes up to say $2,000 an ounce, $3,000 an ounce, that coin might not be going up in value at the same rate as spot price, but it'll still be worth well over spot price. And if it's the only thing in existence that's still legal, then it might add a little value in that respect. But you got to understand that in a numismatic coin, if you want to buy some food with it or something, the average consumer, the average guy, doesn't care if it's in that plastic case or not. Okay, it's just gold and silver to them, possibly. So just keep that in mind. It could be in a trading situation, a barter situation, it might not be of any more value than spot price in a trading situation, but it might be legal and you can actually own it, and without getting fear of getting fined or jailed. So numismatic is one way. Another way is bullion coins. Bullion coins are basically usually they're like 999 fine gold or 999 fine silver. Sometimes they'll have a little bit different alloys mixed in with them. Those will definitely be part of the confiscations, however. Bullion coins, for instance, here's a bullion coin. I have to get the light adjusted here. This is a bullion coin. This is a Walking Liberty, I think they call them American Eagles, made by the US government. And unfortunately the value of them is, if you look at it closely, and I don't know if I can show this, it's $1. So maybe they're only going to pay you $1 for this. And a gold coin, maybe they're only going to pay you the face value of $50, right? This is worth a lot more, obviously. This silver coin is actually truly worth, at today's prices, more like 20 bucks, 23 bucks, something like that. So, dollars, what we call dollars. So, bullion coins, the biggest problem with them, they're pure silver. People can recognize them. There are some fakes out there, so you got to be careful. But they're really only going to be tradable if you're going to be able to trade them, which you probably won't. The customer is going to be able to recognize a bullion coin as being something that they might be able to trade with you if they're legal, and if they're not Hitler Youth trying to turn you in for the reward credits the government's going to be offering because you're using real money, don't you know? So the bullion coins, and they come in bars, 1 ounce bars, 10 ounce bars, 100 ounce bars. Both gold and silver both come in different denominations, and fractional bars, especially in gold. You might have half ounce bars. All that will be part of the confiscations. If gold is made illegal and they're confiscating gold and silver, all that stuff will be confiscated. Another option, if you want to consider it, is copper. Sorry about the lighting here, folks. This, and full disclosure here, this is one of the coins that I make. I have my own survival money on the market. But that being said, now copper has never been banned or confiscated in our country's history. We're talking about the US here. Copper has been used. It's not nearly as much value as gold and silver, of course, but it might not be made illegal. And so then you have something to barter with. Everybody knows copper has value. They don't necessarily know how much because it's not traded on the market by the ounce. And you could walk around with a hunk of copper pipe if you want and try to trade it. But what's the weight? What's the purity? Well, this is 1 ounce 999 fine copper, you see. But that being said, they might make this illegal in barter too. They might make everything illegal in barter to get this new electronic money system off the ground that they want to get. So I'm not saying copper is the answer. And you have to have a whole lot more copper than you would have to have of silver or of gold, of course, to get the same value. So the other method, so bullion coins are probably out for survival situations. How about junk silver? Now junk silver comes in different denominations, and again we're having trouble these with the lighting here. This is a quarter and a dime. This is a mercury dime, and I'm having trouble showing it here because frankly the lighting is screwed up here. And then it comes quarters, dimes, half dollars, silver dollars. They come in a lot of different denominations. They're 90% silver. What does that mean? 90% so means there's actually 90% real silver in these coins, whether they be a peace dollar or a Morgan dollar, any denomination you're talking about. We're talking about US coins here now, 1964 and earlier. We're not talking about modern dollars now, because modern dollars are copper slugs. So all these different denominations of silver coins are made 90% silver. They have 90% real silver in it, and then a mixture of other alloys for durability, basically. But the nice thing about these might not be confiscated. And even if they're not numismatic coins, but they might be, but in any case, it's recognizable by anybody that's grew up, especially in 1964 and earlier. People will recognize those as being real silver. If they look at the date and see it's 1964 or earlier, they're likely going to be able to accept them. Whereas if you have some other country's currency or a bullion coin where they can't be sure it's real, if you have a worn quarter or a worn dime or a half dollar or a worn dollar, 90% silver coin, they're likely going to be able to accept that. They're likely going to be able to believe that that's real. Now there are also fakes of those on the market too, but it's pretty recognizable, probably pretty well accepted that that's going to be something that they could actually trade with you for maybe some gold, for some water or some food or tools or seeds or something else of real value, because you can't eat these coins. Sorry, you just can't do it. You need to trade them for something you can eat, right? So, and that's a brief synopsis. Silver coins, you can buy the junk silver. They call it junk silver because it doesn't have any value in the numismatic world. In other words, this half dollar is so worn. It's a Franklin half dollar. It's so worn. It's not of any use to anybody in a collector's market because it's real silver, but it's too worn. It's not good for their collection, and that's what they call junk silver. It's not of any value to collectors generally, unless it's a very rare date. They aren't really interested in coins that are worn when they can obtain coins that aren't as worn for their collection. So that's why they call it junk silver. There's nothing wrong with junk silver. It's mostly traded for its silver value rather than its coin value or its numismatic value. You can buy junk silver in bags, half bags, partial bags. What's a bag? A bag is a $1,000 face value. In other words, in a bag of silver dollars, you're talking 1,000 coins, because 1,000 of these equals $1,000, right? If it's a bag of half dollars, then you're talking 2,000 half dollars, or 4,000 quarters in that bag, and then 10,000 dimes. So that's what a bag of silver is. That's one way to buy quantities of it. And you'll pay a certain amount over spot price. In other words, presently we're talking like 13 or 14 times over spot price. So in other words, a bag of half dollars will be about $13,000 to $14,000 at present day prices. It changes all the time. At one time, I was able to buy them for 3 times over face value. and other times you're going to pay 20 or 30 times over. It really depends what the price of silver is doing. So the market on that changes all the time. So that's the way you buy it. So if you're going to buy some gold and silver, silver is probably more tradable because of its sizes. If you want to buy a loaf of bread or something, you're more likely going to be able to buy that loaf of bread with a dime or something else of a small value. Whereas if you have a gold coin, it's going to be very hard to fractionalize that. It's just too big. That's more for like buying cars or houses for any kind of large denomination gold coins. Now they come in smaller sizes too. So in a nutshell, that's what I recommend if you are going to take that step and buy some gold and silver coin for survival purposes. Now that's my best recommendation, is some worn or junk silver or gold coins that's recognizable by the average consumer. Now worn gold coins are going to be harder for a lot of people to recognize unless they're the double eagles, and those are awfully big. Those are 1 ounce coins essentially. But the bullion was probably going to be out. The numismatic ones will be difficult, but not possibly banned. And paper currency, unfortunately, probably, as soon as people stop believing this is real money, which it is, well, it's traded as money now, but it's not real. It's a Ponzi scheme. As soon as people stop believing this is of value anymore, then it's of no value anymore, period. But in a short duration of time where the banks are closed and people don't know what's going to happen next, this still might be king. For the short time when the banks are closed and people believe that they're trying to get their money out of the ATMs and banks, then people will still want these, but that might only be for a very short period of time. So thanks all for watching. Watch some of my other videos I'm creating about money. So long.